We're told, work hard, study hard, and life will reward you. From rags to riches, from nothing to everything. That's the promise of meritocracy, the idea that everyone has a fair shot. We hear stories of so-called self-made billionaires. In India, coaching centers scream that if you just grind through IIT or IAS exams, you'll escape the crowd. In America, they call it the dream, the idea that anyone can go from a trailer park to Harvard. We cling to these stories because they give hope. But somewhere deep inside, we know the social contract is broken, and what we're left with is mostly BS. Look at the world. If you're born poor, odds are you'll stay poor. In some countries, it will take 7, 8, even 11 generations before your family reaches the middle. 11. That's not mobility. That's poverty written into your DNA. The World Bank's own numbers show the same truth everywhere. The higher the inequality, the lower the chance of escape. For most of humanity, the so-called ladder of mobility is a cruel joke. It isn't broken. It was never built. And even in the land that trademarked opportunity itself, the so-called American dream, the reality is brutal. If you're born in the bottom 20%, your odds of making it to the top are just 7%. 7. 1 in 3 children born poor in America stay poor for life. The ladder isn't there, it's quicksand. And geography twists the knife further. In some U.S. cities, your chance of escaping poverty sinks to 4%. So, when they tell you the American dream is alive, remember, for most, it's not a dream. It's a bedtime story designed to keep you working, quietly, right where your parents left off. Education is sold as the ladder, but it's just another toll booth. In India, coaching factories profit. In the U.S., Ivy League branding decides entry. Education doesn't guarantee mobility. It sells hope like a product. If the ladder doesn't work, why does the story survive? Because it's profitable. Gurus, coaching centers, politicians, corporations all cash in on your belief. The myth isn't an accident. It's a business model. Your fate may be sealed by your PIN code. In India, village versus metro is destiny. In the U.S., Charlotte kids have 4% chance of reaching the top. In San Jose, 13%. Geography is destiny. Even when you climb, you're chained. Education loans, housing loans, golden handcuffs. Debt doesn't buy freedom. It buys obedience. Social mobility doesn't free you. It just gives you a nicer cage. Why do we keep believing? Because exceptions are paraded as proof. Survivorship bias hides thousands of failures. Media sells lottery winners to keep the rest of us buying tickets. Mobility isn't rare, it's hereditary. Wealth and surnames pass down. Poverty passes down too. Generational mobility welded chains instead of breaking them. The story isn't a dream, it's a leash. It keeps workers grinding, students obedient, voters hopeful. The myth isn't sold to uplift, it's sold to control. The few who make it aren't proof. They're lottery winners. Their stories are amplified so the rest keep playing. 99 out of 100 lose, silently. For every success headline, thousands fail unseen. Burned out students, graduates in unpaid jobs, families crushed under loans. Their silence props up the myth. Maybe the tragedy isn't that the ladder is gone, but that we still pretend it's there. Parents still preach, politicians still chant, media still sells. But deep down, we know tomorrow isn't better. Tomorrow is just more of today. Mobility was never the rule. It was the lie that kept the machine running, and now that lie is rotting in front of us. The ladder isn't broken. It was never built. If this hit harder than the fairy tales, hit like. Not for me. For visibility, drop your story in the comments. And subscribe. Tap the bell. This is only my second video. And we're just beginning.